And in this moment, if we are speaking in English, I would like to invite on the floor Mr. J.J. Sun. Probably you wouldn't guess that he traveled not from Italy, but he traveled from Sweden. Am I right? Yeah, I'm sorry. So, Mr. Sun, who is representative of Phoenix Contact Company, will introduce their approach to the industrial security. May I say it like this? Yes. So the floor is yours for 20 minutes. And I just like to mention for everyone here that after this presentation, we expect the Vice Premier, Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Havlicek. So there is a slight change in the agenda, but your 20 minutes is your 20 minutes. We appreciate that you traveled half a world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, my name is JJ, and as he just mentioned, I'm from Sweden, and personally, I'm from Taiwan. Okay, I'm from Taiwan, so I'm Taiwanese. And my name is JJ. I am the network and cybersecurity specialist from Phoenix Contact. Okay, and today I would like to talk about a very important topic: remote access. Okay, and if you are a machine builder or if you are a factory owner, operate a factory, more or less you have remote access in your machine or in your system, right? Any one of you are a machine builder or work in a factory? Yes? Good. Do you have remote access in your system? Yes? Anyone? No? I don't believe. Let me change my question. Any one of you do not have remote access in your system? No one. So everyone has remote access. Okay, well, so today we're going to talk about remote access and security because this is very, very important. Nowadays, security is no longer an option. It's mandatory. It's a must because security has become law. Okay, in the EU, we have three big change. The first one is NIS2, Network and Information System Security Directive. Okay, it's an EU directive, and this directive will turn into national laws. According to the status right now, Czech Republic has implemented this already in the national law, which means all the factory, all the machine builders, as long as you are building system, operating your factory, you must follow security law. So that your company need to implement cybersecurity management system so that your company has the policy and procedure to run the company in a secure way, okay? The second one is Cyber Resilience Act, CRA. So what is this? Cyber Resilience Act is a little bit different from the first one, NIS2. This one is very focused on product. As long as your product has digital element, which means more or less everything, right? This has digital element. This one has digital element, right? And your machine and your system, of course, has digital element. And then you need to follow CRA, which means you need to make your system or make your machine secure. If you do not follow this law, means you cannot put your machine into the market. You will not get CE mark. You cannot sell machine in the EU. So this is quite serious. In 2027, by next year, your machine needs to be secure. Next one, machine regulation. This one is very focused in safety. So we talk about machine safety, safety function, process safety a lot. And this one focuses on machine safety, which means the safety function need to be protected by cybersecurity features. Okay, so these are the things that we have to very, very careful because next year you have to follow and you have to work on now. Okay, so we talk about remote access state. So we use a remote access a lot in our system, in our machine, because it saves our time and saves our cost. If someone has the problem, the machine sell the machine to a factory owner, there are machines, right? somewhere in the world. And sometimes the customer calling you, hey, I have some trouble with your machine. Can you help me? So your technical support, they can sit in the office, even work from home to make a connection, VPN connection to the machine remotely to do troubleshooting. So that we save time and we save traveling costs, right? So that's why remote access is so popular today. So the problem is, are you sure remote access or when you use VPN, are you sure that it's secure? Okay, so many people think, yeah, I'm using VPN, so I'm fine. Okay, so you have to understand how VPN works, what VPN do for you and what VPN does not do for you. Okay, so VPN do authentication, confidentiality, and integrity for you, meaning that the connecting two party, the people and the machine, the connection has to be, making sure these two parties are the correct person or the correct machine. The second step is the VPN tunnel encrypt the data so that when data transfers through the tunnel, no one from the internet will see the data. So confidentiality. And then integrity, meaning that the data in and the data out will be the same. Integrity, right? So this is what VPN do for you. But what VPN does not do for you is VPN does not guarantee what is coming into the tunnel. Okay, so if you throw good things in the tunnel, then goes out is correct. But if you throw garbage in, then garbage out. Virus in, virus out. Okay, so VPN is not 100% secure. Okay, so are you at risk? If you have a system or if you have a machine having a VPN remote access function, are you at risk? We have to understand, okay, let's do a little bit risk assessment. So this is the architecture that we use in our system. For example, we have a remote user connecting remote access to the machine. We have the supplier offering this remote access function. More or less, more than 90%, they based on a cloud solution. So it's a cloud-based solution. And then you have your machine over there, right? And the supplier tell you, hey, I give you a gateway so that you can do remote access. Okay, so what is the problem? First of all, you connect the gateway to your machine. Okay, there's no separation. The gateway belongs to you or belongs to the supplier. Question. The gateway belongs to you or belongs to the supplier? The supplier, because the gateway connect to the cloud, right? There's no separation. So this is the first one. The second security risk is kind of unsecure backdoor, especially when you are using wireless. For example, wireless connection or cellular connection, it creates a backdoor to the factory. It's not through. It's not. You have a factory firewall over there, but it creates a backdoor. Okay, through the wireless. This is the second one. The third one is trust by default. As I just explained, if you connect a VPN is not making sure what is coming in, right? So trust by default, meaning as long as the VPN tunnel is established, okay, so the person can throw in anything, good or bad. Okay, good or bad. So this is not good enough. Okay, the fourth one is remote desktop. I don't know how many of you have remote desktop in your system, like a VNC or something, remote desktop. Okay, so very often we see customer using remote desktop in their system because it's so convenient. We install the software in the workstation and you remotely log in the workstation and do whatever you want, right? So that's extremely high risk because you can do whatever you want, okay? The next one is cloud-based security. So as I explained, most suppliers who offer remote access solution is cloud-based, so that they work on their cloud. So how can you make sure their cloud is secure? Also, even worse is that more or less you rely on the security, you rely your security on their cloud because they offer you security features, right? They say they have user authentication, multi-factor authentication, and so on, right? But it's rely on their cloud. So how can you make sure it's correct, right? So cloud-based. The last one, vendor lock-in. Okay, as long as you use the supplier solution, more or less you have to use that kind of forever. Because you have your machine connect to the cloud, you have the user connect cloud, you have the authentication, and everything based on the cloud. It's very hard for you to switch from one supplier to another supplier. Is that correct? As long, for example, you have 100 machines, or 200 machines, or 500 machines connect to their cloud. How can you change? It's very, very difficult for you to change from one supplier to another. So this is also something very, very bad. Okay, so even more practical challenge in addition to security. So we have diversity. What does it mean? If you are a machine builder, normally you not just create one type of machine, right? You have several different type of machine. So how can you handle diversity? I mean, you have type A, type B, type C, and different type of machine has different security requirements. But if you are using cloud-based security, then more or less you can only generate a very generic security policy, control policy. You cannot customize for different type of machine. Ideally, you should create security policy according to which type of machine it is. So I have type A machine, I have type A security. I have type B machine, I have type B security, so that you can make your machine secure, right? Diversity. The second one is flexibility. If you are a machine builder, so very often you sell your machine to customer A. They say, okay, I use your supplier remote access solution. But another customer say, no, I have my own remote access solution. I don't want to use yours, use mine, right? If you go to customer C, then they have another remote access, right? I have another one, I don't use this. So how can you handle this flexibility? As a factory owner or machine builder, very often, your machine, when you sell your machine, sometimes they want this one, sometimes this another one, sometimes another one. So different remote access connect to your machine. How can you make sure the security is always consistent? So consistency. How can you make sure your machine is always consistent when you connect to different customer or connect to different remote access solution, right? So to fix this issue, we need to follow the system requirement from IEC C243. Okay, as we just heard about the ABB presentation, the previous of this IEC C243 is the cybersecurity standard. Okay, so there are a lot of requirements. There are 7 fundamental requirements. For example, user authentication, identification authentication, use control, system integrity, data confidentiality, restrict data flow, timely response to event, and resource availability. These are the things that you should consider when you are using remote access in your system, okay? So, can we say, for example, like simply say system integrity and data confidentiality, more or less VPN handle this, right? So how about restrict data flow and identification authentication? So when you do VPN connection, you can do a little bit of this, but not to the best. So this is how we recommend. Okay, so as you can see here, this is your machine. And following the structure of IEC C443, you should break down the system into security zones. So if, for example, we have this network zone, and we have the safety zone, control zone, for PLC controllers or supervisor zone for touch panels and so on, and operation zone. So you should break down your system into security zone according to IEC C443. So this is the first step. Segment your system into zones, okay? The second one is separate remote access from your system. As I explained, how can you make sure that remote access gateway belongs to you or belongs to your supplier, right? That thing connect to internet has to be separated from your system or your machine because that device connect to internet, connect to third party, okay? Separate that thing from yours, okay? Minimize the service to remote access, meaning that we just allow, for example, only single one port to the remote access. It's not like, I don't know how many of you have your gateway and then connect to the machine because the gateway has several ports, right? 4 or 5 ports and then connect to your machine directly, right? So you have many attack service. So you should allow only one port to your machine. only one port to your system. We call this minimize attack surface. By doing so, you can apply. What happened? Okay. By doing so, you can apply a strict policy, security policy on that port because you have only one door, right? If you have many doors, you need to set up many security policy. This door, that door, and that door. If you close down to only one door, one port, you can apply security just on that port, on that door. So you can implement system-based security. So you should implement a security within the machine. Because as I explained, you have machine type A, machine type B, machine type C, right? So you should implement security inside the machine. Do not rely on the cloud. Do not rely on the supplier. Okay, do not on the supplier. Okay, so since we have this good structure, so that why not to unify the remote access security policy and also the local access security policy. So there's some times that people should go on site to do troubleshooting, right? To do troubleshooting as well. So we should use the same policy for remote access and local service, right? So because they are more or less doing the same thing. Okay, if you follow this best practice recommendations, the benefit will be it's secure. We follow IEC 443 to structure the system, to structure the machine, and we have separated the untrusted remote access gateway from your machine and minimize the attack surface. Enforce zero trust concept, meaning that we implement a security policy inside the machine, not rely on the cloud, okay? Not rely on the cloud. Diversity, because you implement security in the machine, not on the cloud, so that we can handle diversity. Okay? So because different type machine requires different type of security, diversity. And the next one. Okay, so flexibility. Okay, so because you have implemented security in your machine, which means wherever the machine goes, you don't care because the security is always with the machine. So that when you sell the machine to customer A, let's say I want remote access solution 1. When you sell the machine to customer B, let's say I have remote access solution B. When you sell C, you don't care. Whatever kind of remote access, you don't care because security is in my machine. I can handle it so that I can keep it consistent. Okay, keep the consistency. So do not rely on your supplier. Do not rely on the cloud-based security. Implement it in the machine so that you can keep it consistency and keep the flexibility. Okay, so from Furnace Contact, we can offer you a complete solution for remote access. First of all, we do service. We do security service. For example, I am the network and cybersecurity specialist. My task is to help our customer to review their system design and give some advice to do network architecture, to design the system in a better way. So that is my task. We do security service. The next one is we offer you a remote access cloud. Okay, we have remote access cloud from Furnace Contact. And the next one is we have very powerful firewall. Okay, this firewall can help you to structure your machine, to structure your system according to IEC 443. And even better that this firewall is IEC 443 certified, security level 2. And very soon, we will get certificate level 3. So we are the leading company in the market. The next one is network security. We have the switches and firewall wireless. These devices are also certified according to IEC 443. In the end, you will reach the controller, PLC controllers, and safety controllers, or IPC, and so on, right? The good news for you is our PLC controller and safety controller are also IEC 443 certified, security level 2. Okay, so all the way from service to network to the end devices components, we have security solutions for you, okay? So, if you are interested in my presentation, there's a white paper that you can download from the internet, scan the QR code, and then you can download this, okay? So, if you have questions, welcome to visit us just over there, okay? I and my colleague will help you for more questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your presentation. Will highlight that you can meet Mr. Sun not only here at the booth, but at 1 p.m. In Pavilion P3. It's over there in the first floor, and there is a small workshop seminar with him, so you can share your experiences, questions with him over there, and of course take your attention to the Phoenix contact. And thank you very much again.
Yes,
thank you.
thank you,
And
thank
now
you.
I will switch to the Czech language. I'm sorry, you can listen with us here.
Just one minute. We will have the conference room at P3. It's on third floor, I think P3. And I will take this into more detail, and I will do a live demo over there. Okay, in the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.